Welcome to Start Before You're Ready, the podcast that proves that you don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin your journey towards better health and happiness. I'm your host, Kelly Young. Remember, the first step is often the hardest, but it's always worth taking. Hey guys, it's Kelly, and I'm back with another episode of Start Before You're Ready. And I would like to start off this episode by saying thank you. I am blown away by the incredible feedback that we've gotten from our listeners and from our community, in addition to you guys sharing with me things that resonate and how some of the information that you're hearing is helpful. So many of you have gone out of your way to reach out to the people that have been on the podcast to let them know how much you enjoyed hearing their story. And that just means a lot. And I know it takes an extra step, and we're all so busy. And I know a lot of times I'll listen to a podcast and I'll be like, I love that. And then I won't ever say it. So no worries if you don't. We totally get it. It's okay. But if you have, we appreciate it. And just like anything, the idea for this podcast is to help people. And if you hear something that you feel like, gosh, if my friend Susie heard this, I think it would be helpful, please share it. You click on, there's a link to share it directly. If you need the link, I can share it with you. But I love personally, a lot of people share podcasts with me because they know that I love podcasts. And I love it when someone sends me a direct link to a podcast, because I'm like, oh, I'll put this in my queue. So it's really helpful. And of course, we want to expand our reach and reach as many people as possible. And we want to reach the right people. We want to reach people that the messaging that we have resonates with. So thank you guys. Thank you again. What I thought I'd do today is something kind of fun. I'm going to be answering some questions. So these are questions that I think might help our listeners that are on their own fitness journey. And some of them are pretty simple, and I'll use a lot of examples from my community, but I think that this will just be a fun podcast for you guys to listen to, or maybe share if any of this seems to kind of hit home. So the first question is, what is the best way to start a fitness routine if you haven't worked out in years? This is such a good question, and it applies to so many people, because and sometimes people, when they try to think about when the last time they worked out, they'll say like, oh, it's been a couple years. But then when they really think about it, a couple means 5 or sometimes even more. So here's what I'm going to say about this. I've heard people say, I need to get in shape before I join a workout program. And that makes sense to them because they don't feel like they're in shape enough to do the workout program. But to any trainer, I don't care who you are, that doesn't make any sense. You don't need to get in shape to start a workout program. Our job is to meet you where you're at. And we love students, myself and all of my coaches, we love students that come to us really in a situation where they are not in shape, because we can help them so much and we can celebrate all of the little victories along the way. It's not necessary to get in shape to start a workout program. You don't need to lose 10 pounds before you start a workout program. You just need to start. Remember the name of this podcast, guys. Start before you're ready. It really is amazing the number of people that say they need to get in shape before they start. And that's a myth. You don't. So what I would say to somebody is you need to create some type of structure and routine. That is the best way to be consistent with something. And that does not mean it needs to be every day. So if there's 3 days a week where maybe you don't usually have an early meeting and you can do your walk that day, or you can get your workout in that day, you want to look at times in your schedule that things are not likely to come up. So if you've got 3 kids that are doing sports, you probably are not going to pick evening or afternoon, because you're going to get pulled away to do stuff for your kids, of course. So you need to find a time. And that's why a lot of our students work out so early in the morning. I know it's painful to think about, but that's why so many of our students do that 5:15 or 6 a.m. class. They do it before their kids are even up. They do it before people are even moving in their house. They sneak out and they sneak back in. If you're not a morning person, that is not our ideal. It's not a good idea to try to become a morning person if you're not a morning person, if you're trying to be consistent and stick with something. But you've got to prioritize it. You have to really, really look at your day when you're saying things like, I don't have time. And you have to, if it's not a class, if it's something that you could do anytime, anywhere, then you need to look at those little pockets of time where there's something that is attached to. So say it's like you finish your day at work and then you put on your walking shoes, or before you start your day, you go down to your elliptical for 20 minutes or whatever it is, 15 minutes. That's the other thing. Time is less important in the beginning than the act of doing it. I know that sounds crazy, but don't feel like you need to do something for a half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. 10 minutes, just creating the routine and building from there. That's totally what I would tell somebody. And if you're one of these people that are listening right now and you want to start a fitness routine, please reach out. Even if I can't help you, I will find somebody who can. I want this podcast to be a lifeline for people that are stuck, that need help, that need support. I know there's been times in my life, you guys, where I've felt like, man, I just need someone to help me get through this situation, or I need someone to talk this situation out with. And I want to be that for you guys. I want to be that for the audience that's listening to this podcast. This podcast isn't just about asking you to listen and asking you to like it and asking you to give comments. That's not what this is about. This is about truly trying to help people that want to be a healthier version of themselves. It's something that means so much, and I would do anything in my power to be that person for you guys. So I hope that you take that to heart. This is a really good question, and I'm going to talk about an example. I actually want this. I'm not going to share who this person is because I did not ask for permission from this particular person, but I do want to have her on my podcast for sure. So the question is, how do you stay motivated when you're not seeing results right away? That is a great, great question. And I can only imagine how frustrating it is when you are making changes. Maybe you're making some changes in your diet, you're dialing in on your protein, you're drinking your water, you're starting an exercise routine, and maybe a little bit, but you're like, I don't really think it's working. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. It's not overnight. Real change does not happen overnight. It's small changes over time that equal big changes. And you have to give yourself little milestones. We do it in our community. We reward our members as they're coming. Like, okay, you came to 10 classes. You have to give yourself affirmation as you're hitting these milestones. And I'll tell you guys, I've been doing this for so long. I can tell you when someone's going to have long-term success because they celebrate their success along the way. Sometimes they'll text me and say, Kelly, I am so excited. I have worked out consistently for a month now, or I've never stuck with anything and I've done 10 classes in the past 2 months or whatever it is. They're acknowledging that they're being successful. That is an incredibly important component to long-term success. You need to acknowledge what you're doing right. Okay? Don't start this talk saying, oh my gosh, I've been working out for a month and the scale hasn't moved and I don't even notice a difference. That's simply not true. There's zero way that you can start a workout program and be consistent and not have change. You just haven't noticed it. We notice it. Instructors notice it. Every day, I am like looking at people in my class. I'm like, oh my God, they've gotten so much stronger, or they look taller, or they look younger, or I remember when they couldn't kick their leg over, or I remember when they couldn't extend their arms all the way up. Whatever it is, there's little changes that are happening, and that's what's going to lead to those bigger changes. So please, please, please do not tell yourself that it's not working and quit. That is a lie. That is an excuse, and it's not true. It's not true. If you truly start exercising, whether it's walking, strength training, swimming, whatever it is, something is changing. It could just be your mood is changing, but something is changing and more changes are coming. You just need to keep going. So I'm going to tell you a story about the other day in my class. I taught a class and I talked with a student after, and she said just that to me. She said, I'm really frustrated. I have been so consistent with my workouts. I'm nailing my protein. I feel like I'm doing everything right. And I don't feel a difference. I haven't lost any weight. I haven't. And of course, the first thing I say is, I see a difference. I see a difference in your physical ability. You move totally different than when you first started. You are so much stronger. You have such better stamina. You don't need to stop and rest so much. You can get through a 1 hour full body, intense workout without dying. That's success right there. Just right there. That's huge. That's such a big, big notch in your belt. That's just wonderful. And then I said, well, let's just do the in-body, okay? Because sometimes the scale can be tricky. And especially this particular person, because even though she wasn't happy with where she was, I don't think she was really overweight for her size, for her frame. So I thought it was important to do an in-body. Well, she had done an in-body before, so that was super helpful, but it had been, the last in-body that she had done was before she had done, she had started actually working out with us. She came back and entered into one of our nutrition coaching programs, had great results from that, and then later decided to exercise. So her last in-body was after a nutrition coaching program. These results are not typical, okay? Let me just tell you that. These results are not typical, but I think that the changes that she made were so extreme, especially in the protein department, because I don't think that she was even coming close to eating enough protein before. And she started working out consistently. And she's competitive and she's a hard worker. And when she works out, she works out. So these are real workouts. She was training. She gained 6 pounds of muscle. Her body fat went down 3%. She didn't think she had change. I don't know how, because usually a 3% body fat change. But it's when it's slow, sometimes you don't notice. So please, please, please do not say it's not working, because that's a lie. That's a lie. It is working, and you'll see more results as you go. And if you need help identifying your success, I would like you to reach out to me, because I can help you identify what is working and the changes that you're seeing. Even if I'm not working out with you, I can help you with that. I'm getting all fired up, guys. I get super passionate about this. Okay, the next question is, what should I do if I hit a plateau and I stop making progress? This happens, especially with really fit people or not fit people. This happens. We hit plateaus. It happens. You need to mix something up. Okay. So if you feel like you've been going for a long time, you're in a good routine, but things are just kind of the same, you need to do something different. For me personally, just like kind of where I am with this, I typically don't change my workouts that much because I really like my workout routine, and it's for my mental health as much as it is for my physical health. I really enjoy the style of training that I do and the energy that it gives me. So I'm not like super flexible with changing my workout routine. I kind of feel like I've dialed it in to have it be the right routine. But I usually tweak something nutrition, or I'll add in more recovery, or I'll start tracking in my MyFitnessPal. That's one thing that, like, if I feel like I'm just in a little bit of a funk and I don't really feel like I've got my groove right now, I go back to MyFitnessPal. I always joke with MyFitnessPal. I'm like, thanks for letting me back in, because I'm like, the most inconsistent user in the world. I never do it like ongoing. I did one during the winter challenge this year. It was the first time I did it ongoing, but I just go back in for a few days just to see like, oh, am I falling behind in my fiber? Am I falling behind in my water? And that's usually just, that helps me enough. That's kind of the stage that I'm in. But you might not be in that stage. For you, it might be more daily activity. That's a huge one. And I will say this, one of the things that I try to do is more physical work around the house when I'm feeling like I just need like a little bit of a boost, or my weight's maybe up a little bit, because physical activity, just cleaning the garage or organizing something or running them down. I mean, it can make a huge difference. So sometimes I'll go through little things where I was like, okay, I'm going to have a physical project every day, something that I'm going to do for an hour that's not sitting. So that's an idea for you. If you feel like you just need more activity, but you're so totally overwhelmed, you don't have time to go walk for an hour, well, take on something physical in your house, take on a project, or give yourself a water challenge. That water challenge just works every time. Honestly, just saying, like giving yourself, I'm going to drink 100 ounces of water a day, or if you're a little bit of a bigger person, maybe even a gallon of water a day. Movement, water, protein, tracking. If you don't feel like your workouts are really like, you don't feel like you're optimizing your time with your workouts, switch that up. I tell people sometimes they can't change their schedule. So when people come to me and they say, hey, Kelly, I don't know. I feel like maybe, I can't really go up in my weights, but I kind of feel like I want to challenge myself more. That's when I really start to talk mental focus. Like, this means before you walk into your class, before you do your workout, you're giving yourself a little pep talk. You're saying, Kelly, you're training today. You're going to push yourself. When you don't want to go as deep as you know you can go in that push-up, you're going to do it. It's you training you. You start that self-talk during a workout. You tell yourself, I am going to crush this workout. I'm going to do this workout to the best of my ability. Talked about this a little bit before. Like if it's a circuit and you want to push yourself and you're like, okay, I'm going to do 20 squat to rows, and then you count them, and then the next time you're like, I'm going to try to do 21. You just little things to up the ante. Always try to up the ante and make it just a little bit harder. It makes such a difference. And if you want to be the most popular person in KBC, you can push your partner. So we have certain people in KBC that you just, either you really don't want to be partners with them or you want to be partners with them, because they are just going to enhance your workout. They are going to push you. They're going to look for that little extra edge. They're going to move a little bit further. They're going to go a little bit heavier. And that's the kind of person that you can be for your group, or even if you're doing a class where everyone's doing the same thing, you're really pushing. I got some people around me that sometimes they're grunting and groaning a little bit. They're really, really pushing. And that can make a huge, huge difference. There's sometimes, guys, and I'm here to say this is okay. Just get there and get through the workout and you're fine and you did it and that's awesome. Great job. But if you're in that mode where you're like, I'm in a plateau, I need change, you need to change up here and you need to go in that workout like you want something. This is what I tell my people. What did you come here for today? What is your purpose? Get what you came for. This workout needs to mean something to you. Are you trying to get stronger? Are you trying to push yourself outside of your comfort zone? Are you trying to prove to yourself that you can do more than you thought you could? There's so much head talk that we do all the time, guys. We are talking to ourselves all day long. And my goal and quest is to change those words inside your head and help you train yourself and talk positively to yourself and push yourself and get that little bit of extra from yourself. We can do it as coaches and trainers. Of course we can, but you can do it too. And when you start doing that, it changes your whole being. You're better at everything. There's always something. There's always an opportunity to take it up a notch. So if you journal, or if you write your goals for the week, or if you have an accountability partner, or you're one of our students and we coach you, let us know. What are you trying to do? What's important to you? What lights you up? Where are you trying to go? Have a goal. A lot of times in the beginning of the month, I'll ask I don't think I did it this month. May just, people should like survive. But a lot of times in the beginning of the month, I'll say, what are we focusing on this month? What's really important to you? And then I'll ask them again at the middle of the month, and then again at the end. It's so good to have that extra layer of accountability and to really go for something, That's why I love, in our community, we do birthday push-ups. And I'm going to admit something right now that I maybe never have told you guys. March comes around and I'm like, shoot, I need to do more push-ups because I don't get down on the ground and do push-ups every single day. I teach a lot of classes and we do a lot of push-ups in classes, but we kind of work them in. And, for me to do the number of reps that I want to be able to do, I need to up my game a little bit. So come March, I'm like, all right, I need to incorporate more push-ups into the workouts. But you guys should be doing the same thing. If you're getting to that close to when you're doing whatever your birthday reps are, whether your push-ups are on your toes or on your knees, whatever it is, that's a good opportunity to be like, I'm training for this. I'm training for my birthday push-ups. I love stuff like that. Okay, the next question is, how important is nutrition compared to exercise when it comes to reaching your goals? I can't believe I'm saying this. Nutrition is more important than exercise when it comes to meeting your goals. If your goals are weight, not necessarily body composition, but if your goal is weight, but your goal shouldn't be weight. So I'm going to change that answer. Nutrition is very, very important. The saying, you cannot out-train a bad diet, is fact. If you eat like crap, your body composition is not going to be good. I have a saying, and I think it's true most of the time. I've seen some deviation from it. But what I see is the quantity of your food relates to your weight. Okay, so like if you're overeating, you're overweight. The quality of your food relates to your body composition. Okay, if you're eating the macros, if you're getting the right ratio of macros for yourself, and you're really dialed into your nutrition, typically your skeletal muscle mass is higher, and which means your body fat is lower. Not always, but that's often the case. So I don't tell people like you need to have a perfect diet all the time. You need to find a style of eating that you can maintain that allows for indulgences. Because if you do something for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it is, it's not going to move the needle long term, right? As soon as you stop doing it, you'll go back to the way you were. So just like exercise, the best nutrition program is the one that you can keep doing or doing a version of. I love some of our nutrition coaching programs that have you reel it in. Like right now, Amy's doing the Clean and Shred, where she's really helping people identify foods that might not be great food choices for their body by eliminating some foods and then allowing them back in. And then, of course, Gretchen's Cut the Fat program is all about the macros, and we see how that works for people as far as their body composition. But the education in those programs is what's the most valuable, right? What you're learning and how you're learning how your body responds to it is really valuable. Because here's what I believe. Until you truly believe that PFF is your BFF and that a lot of processed food is going to get in the way of your goals, or until you really, really believe it, you're not going to do it. So anytime we can move you towards believing that those are the things that are going to help you the most, we're doing a great job. Those are really, really important things. And that's why some people say like, oh, I did such and such program and, I only lost 2 pounds. That's not the right statement. What did you learn? What are you still doing that you did in such and such program? What new recipes have you added to your family's routine? What have you realized that, hey, this was a food my family was eating that's not good for us, that nobody even cares about that much, so that you're no longer having. There's so many more benefits that come from the 2 pounds. So going back to the question, because I think I got off track a little bit, how important is nutrition compared to exercise when it comes to reaching your goals? I think that both are incredibly important. I think that sometimes if you're limited in your exercise, I've seen this with a lot of my students, they get sidelined from maybe they can't do cardio, or maybe they have a shoulder injury, or they tend to dial in they focus on what they can do physically, but then they're nervous that they're going to gain weight or that they're going to lose the results that they've worked for. So they dial in a little bit more with their nutrition and they see amazing results. So they work together, but I don't think that you can out-train a bad diet. I just don't think that you can out-train a bad diet unless you just got great genes. And if you got great genes, you're probably not listening to this because it's almost, sometimes it's a curse. Like if you're young, when you're younger, and you just never have to try, and you can always eat whatever you want, and you don't need to pay attention, and you don't really, your palate kind of goes towards less healthy foods. Sometimes that's a curse versus like some of the people I know in my life, I'll put myself in this category, have always struggled with their weight. They've always had to watch what they ate. So they're always looking for foods that are gonna help them with their weight management and their health and nutrition. So they learn to like those foods because they have to. And that makes it easier in the long run to maintain. But both are important, but both don't have to be perfect. That's how I'm going to leave you with that question. Here's a great question. How do you know if you're working out hard enough or too hard? That's a great question. Now, I'm going to do two examples of this. One is when you first start. When you first start exercising, you're going to be tired after a workout. That's expected. You've just put a lot of stress on your body that your body is not used to. So you're going to feel fatigue after a workout. You feel drained. You might feel like, I can't do anything else today. And that is normal, and that's okay. Our goal is to not feel that way. Our goal is to be energized by a workout. So I define fitness as being energized by a workout. So when you become fit, when you do activity, it gives you more energy versus draining you and making you want to go take a nap. Okay. It takes a while. And everybody is different with this. Okay. Don't judge yourself based on what I just said. If you're like, oh, I'm always exhausted after a workout, I must not be in good shape. Maybe not. But in general, what I notice when people first start, they're very fatigued after a workout. And when they gain consistency and they have a routine and they've been doing it for a long time, they tend to feel energized from your workout. So how do you know if you're working out too hard? Well, one thing that we use in our community that I absolutely love, that I can't recommend enough, is a heart rate monitor. And there's a lot of people have like an Apple Watch or a Garmin in different ways. I really like the MyZone chest strap. I like a chest strap in general. I don't think that the other ones work as well real time, but I do think that they work. But that's one thing that you can look at. If you think that your heart rate is accurate, you can see like, okay, every time I work out, I'm working out in like above 85%. That might not be good. You might want to spend some time in the different zones where you're not always working out that hard. The other thing is how you feel the next day. All right. So if you are not recovering from your workouts, if you are feeling like always miserably sore, and then maybe it's a little bit too much too fast. You really need to listen to your body as far as that goes. And as far as not working out hard enough, I feel like I've changed a little bit on this, you guys, because honestly, if you're working out, I'm so happy and that's so good. And some people are scared to push themselves really hard. It's just not what they're used to. So it's not right or wrong. But if you came to me and said, I'm really goal oriented, these are my goals, and I don't want to push myself, I would say, well, you got to find somewhere where you can push yourself. There's got to be some component of the workout where you can go beyond your comfort zone a little bit, because that's where we grow. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. In fact, sometimes less is more when it comes to pushing yourself. Sometimes doing shorter intervals, or just saying like I know when I design a class, when I program a class, a lot of times I'll say, today we're going to go really hard with this. Like, I'll just have something specific in mind. Maybe it's a muscle group, maybe it's cardio endurance, but it's not everything, right? Because that just overwhelms your body and shocks your body. You don't want to kill. Those days are over. Killer Kelly has been put to rest. Okay, I no longer go into a class and say, I'm going to kill them today. That's never my goal. My goal is for you to be energized by the workout. My goal is for you to feel connected to your body. My goal is for you to feel stronger, longer, leaner, taller. And my goal is to empower people, not to kill them, beat them down. We can do that every once in a while, but no kill. So in general, you need to push, but it shouldn't be all the time, and it shouldn't be the whole workout. How can someone overcome gym anxiety or feeling self-conscious when starting out? Oh gosh, this is such a good question. And this is something that I just wish I could change. But I know how intimidating it is to walk into a gym. And I know people don't believe me when I say this, but if I walk into a gym, even a hotel gym, and there's a bunch of people there, I'm intimidated. I don't like it. I don't feel like, I don't know. It's just a really weird thing. But this is what you have to tell yourself. Get over it. Get over it. These people are not worried about you, Kelly Young. They're here getting their own workout in. They're doing their own thing. They're just trying their best. They woke up early on vacation. They're just trying to get their workout in. They're not worried about you. No one's looking at you. Nobody cares about you. That's number one. Number two is, if it's not a community that feels welcoming, it's not the right place for you. If you really do feel like people are judging you and people aren't helpful, then it's not the right place for you. You shouldn't feel that way. Nobody should feel that way. So that's when you're looking for an exercise program or a place to work out, that should be really important. That should be a priority. And don't just try one. Maybe give it a couple tries, because there's always that one person that's just negative, that might have a bad day and take it out on you or whatever. But in general, people are good. This is what I always tell myself. People are good. People are good. People care about other people. People want you to be successful. People want to help you. You need to go in with that attitude. And I hear it from people. I had a woman call me, and I can't actually find her information, but she called me and she said she was like, whatever number of pounds. And she goes, I just don't want to walk in and have everyone look at me and be like, oh, I'm like, nobody is going to do that. Nobody is going to do that. You know what they're going to think? Rock star, just showed up for a workout. Let's go. How can I help this lady come back? That's what they're going to think, at least in my community. So if you need a community like that, find it. And if you need someone to remind you that you're not being judged, I'm here to tell you that no one's judging you. They're proud of you for being there, and you should be proud of yourself. And this is another thing. This is one more thing. I always think about what you would tell your kid. Like, I just remember, like, maybe when my kids were young, they were reluctant to, not really, because that's not their personality, but like if it was like an intimidating atmosphere for something, for a sport or something, and if they were like showed any kind of reluctancy, I would just really, I would just hate that they felt that way. So you don't want to feel that way. You don't want to feel that way. You want to make sure that you're you're talking to yourself just the way you would talk to your kid that's intimidated by a certain situation. Just say those same words to yourself, and I promise you will get through it. What's the most common mistake people make when starting a new fitness program? This is easy. This is the easiest question. Too much, too fast. Too much, too fast. They want to come every day and they want to do everything. And it's not, they don't need to. The beautiful thing about being new is that you don't need to do everything. You just need to show up and get through as much as you can. And if you try to do too much too fast, you might end up hurt. That's where you see a lot of like shin splints or knee pain or just your body's inflamed because it's too much stress on your body too fast. You need to start slow and build. If you're really gung-ho and you're like, I need to be consistent, I need to do this every day, then that's why in my program, we program a lot of lower impact workouts, things like yoga and core fusion and Pilates and things where it's not going to put as much impact and stress on your body. So if you really feel like I've got to do something every day, just make sure it's not high intensity every day. That will absolutely backfire. And the next question is, how do you recommend setting realistic and achievable fitness goals? And this is a really great question. This is actually the last question. So this is a really great question because I have mixed feelings about goal setting. I really like people to focus on one small thing when they start. And honestly, if I had to pick one thing, I would say number of workouts because it's simple and it's easy to measure. So if someone's starting a workout program in June, I would say, let's try to get, and we can look at their schedule and we look at where they've been doing before, and then we give them a number. Say it's 12. Okay, that's 3 times a week. Let's try to get 12 workouts in. Let's look at your schedule right now. What are some times where you know we can plug in right now that you will not miss? Okay, great. Now, we need 4 more. So every week you need to figure out some other time that like, oh, I can actually get a workout in or whatever it is. In fact, my college students are back. And just the other day I asked them, I said, you guys, I want you to look at your summer schedule and I want you to figure out when you're traveling, when you're going to be out of town, when you're going to be at the beach, all the events, and subtract those out. And look at the days that you're here and make a goal for the number of workouts that you're going to do this summer while you're here with us. And I love that because it gives them something that will get them there on the days that they don't feel like it. Because of course, there's going to be days that they don't feel like it. There's going to be days that they're tired. There's going to be days that they work. There's going to be days that they don't want to get up. Of course there is. But if you have a goal, something underlying saying like, oh, if I don't do this, then I'm going to have to go to 6 a.m. or whatever it is, then it will help you. So just having something tangible to work towards and then not just keeping it in your pocket, okay? Because then you can be like, oh, I'm not doing that goal. Somebody else has to know about it. Somebody that cares about you. Somebody that wants to help you. Somebody that has your best interest at heart. That's the best way to set a goal and to be accountable to it. Okay, you guys, well, this was a fun solo episode. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask, please, you can text me, you can email me, you can DM me. I would love to do another questions podcast and just talk about some of the things that I know will be helpful for people. And as the summer's starting, we're getting closer and closer to summer. Some schools are already out, college kids are already out. School will be getting out soon. Vacations will be happening. You need to have your non-negotiables, guys. You need to have your non-negotiables. These are things that you're going to do no matter what. Maybe it's your water, maybe it's your protein, maybe it's your daily walks, maybe it's your journaling, but you need to have your summer non-negotiables. If you think it'll be helpful for you, I invite you to share them with me. And I'd love to hear them and give you a little bit of feedback on them. Remember, guys, this podcast is here to help you and to serve you and to be that voice in your ear to say, yes, you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your best is always good enough. I am cheering for you. I want to help you. I have a team of amazing coaches that also want to help you. And It's not easy. It's not easy. You can be flying high and being perfect and great, and then you get in a little rut and you just don't want to do anything. And that's hard. And I don't want you to go through hard alone. So hopefully you know that there's people that are willing to help you and that you're not alone and that we're all in this together and we can do great things when we're together. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Start Before You're Ready. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend who might need a little motivation. Ready to start your own journey? Check out our workouts and nutrition coaching programs at kellysbootcamp.net. You can choose from in-person sessions or virtual programs. Set up a complimentary coaching session to get started. Follow along with me and the show on social media at Kellys_bootcamp. Until next time, this is Kelly Young reminding you that the best time to start is always now.